Okay, so here's Toni Collett and some craziness again. Okay, so new Netflix series, Wanderlust. And so I guess it's supposed to be about this couple who's having issues in there. They're trying to put the spark back into their marriage, I guess. Okay, so it opens with the two of them. They're standing in the room and they're just staring at they're staring at each other. Because I get, they're like, okay, it's gonna go down tonight. But it was kind of awkward. So she had a crutch and she had her wrist wrapped up. So she handed him the crutch. And then while they're undressing themselves, because it wasn't even like a passionate kind of thing, like where they were undressing each other. They were just like, she just handed him the crutch and he took it. And then she was like, she pulled the wrist thing off, the brace off her wrist. And then he's standing there, he's pulling his clothes off. And she just taking her old sweet time pulling her clothes off, right? And so while this is going on, they're flashing to her. She was riding her bike and she was hit by a car. And so they flash back to they're in bed, and it was just so awkward. He was on top of her, and I guess it was before he actually went in, and she was like, "Okay, I'm okay. I'm ready now." So he did, and I don't know. She felt like she was like, "Okay, it kind of hurts," and she kind of feels uncomfortable and awkward. And then she started making jokes, which obviously, when it comes to that kind of stuff, men really don't have a sense of humor at all. They take everything so personal. But I mean, it was an awkward situation. Then he was like, "I don't appreciate you making fun of my craft." And she's like, "Oh, your craft? Like you're the woodsman, swordsman." She made some kind of comment, and she just cracked the fuck up, right? And so he was just like, everything is a damn joke. So he got so damn mad. So he got off her. It was like, I think that you've been using this as an excuse. She was like, "I really don't think that you like having sex with me anymore." And she was like, "What?" I mean, that was basically all she gave him. She didn't say, "Oh, honey, that's not true." She just like, "Huh? What?" So it's like, maybe she don't want to have sex with him anymore. Oh, that's fucked up. But, so the following morning, he goes into the bathroom to get himself ready, I guess, to go to work. And she starts diddling herself. Right, so I'm like, oh God, he's gonna walk in on her. No, but it wasn't her. It was their son, who for whatever reason, as old as his ass is, don't know the knock before you go into your parents' room. So he just barged in, and he's like, "Mom, have you seen my shoes?" And so she's looking like, it was a kind of an awkward moment, and she just looked at him like, they're by the door. She was like, by the kitchen door or something. He's like, "Why?" "Because I polished them." He's like, "Why?" She said, "Because they was covered in shit." So it was like, okay, so this is gonna be another one of her crazy shows. Because I don't know if you guys remember, I don't know, many years ago, United States of Terror, where she played the fuck out of that role with that mother, that suburban mom, wife and mother. They had multiple personalities. She is a damn fool, but already, I liked already. Okay, so I think Alan, I think that's her husband's name, Alan. He heads off to work. I don't know if he's a teacher or the principal or what, but he works at a school. And she's a therapist who works out of their home. And, okay, so we have Claire. So Claire, she's a teacher at the school. So she's getting to work like, people do. Normal people go to fucking work, right? Go to work. And she walks to the English department, which I'm assuming is the department she works in. Opens, I'm assuming what would be considered, I guess, the teacher's lounge for the English department. What does she see? Neil's fat ass in there jerking off, looking at some catalog at the school. So he jumps up, looking at a goddamn mess, trying to do his belt up. He's hyperventilating. He's embarrassed, what you should be. And she's just standing there with the stuck face, like, am I actually experiencing what I think I'm experiencing? No, this can't be. I mean, I'm at work. I'm awake. I got up this morning, took a shower, got dressed, drove here, walked my ass in here, opened the door at my job. This is real. And he's in there talking about, oh, well, I was just looking at this catalog because I'm thinking of buying something for somebody, which I'm assuming is his wife or his girlfriend. God damn. Okay. So this show gonna be about a bunch of people with dysfunctional sex lives. What's going on here? Okay. So later on, when Claire's talking to Alan, and she told him what she saw, and he was like, okay, she was ready to report his ass, which is what I would have done. But Alan was like, let me talk to him first, and if I guess if it happens again, or if you still feel compelled to say something, then you go right ahead. So, flash to Tara. I'm about to call this woman Tara because I'm thinking of United States of Terror. Flash to Joy. So she's getting the house ready because her first clients are coming over. They have an appointment. So it's a married couple, and they come in and she basically explains what she does, and just invited them to ask questions and went through like some of the policies about pricing and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, well, we could just sit and talk. And so it seemed like the woman, she didn't really have a whole lot to say. So the man was doing all the talking. And he was basically like, he was talking to a friend of his. They have a married couple who, friends who were married, who were having issues, and they said that they had gone to therapy, and I guess it helped them out, and so that's why they're there. And he started to get a little emotional. She looked over at the woman, and she's not even making eye contact with him, with the husband or her. She's just looking off like she really didn't. She was not at all engaged. And so he started to get emotional. He's like, basically, I just want us to be like we used to be. I want us to talk the way we used to. I want to, basically, I want us to have the type of relationship that we used to have. And I'm sitting there looking like, girl, how you giving somebody advice in your marriage? All right, Joy. All right now. So that was basically the gist of that, that scene there. He's basically opening up, and he's willing to work through the process, but the wife is just sitting there just like, Now, we don't know why she's like that. I mean, she could have been after him. We don't know. I don't want to speculate, but whatever. She's not as engaged as the husband. So Alan catches up with Claire. Claire's about to leave for the day, and he catches up with her and lets her know that he spoke with Neil, and that Neil wanted to speak to her to apologize. And she's looking at him like, I don't want to speak to that fool, that damn pervert. I don't want to be in the same room with him. But she was like, I don't understand what the big deal is. Why can't he just use a disabled stall like the rest of us? So I'm just saying like, okay, is this what's going on at the school? Okay. And so she asked him out for a drink. So Joy has gotten the all clear from her doctor that she not to do anything strenuous, but that he gave her a clean bill of health, and just to take it easy and take things slow. So now she's after meeting with her potential clients, she decides that she's going to get back on the bike. And so she's kind of she jumps on the bike and just a little coast down the street. And it's like flashing back between her and then when she was riding the bike down the street and got into an accident before. And she gets to that same intersection, not paying attention again. And then there's a bunch of cyclists going by. So her ass almost get hit again. And then her son Tom walks up, and she was like, "Oh, taking the old girl out for a spin." He was like, "Well, how are you, old girl?" Talking to his mom, little Joe. So then she kind of chuckled, and she's like, she's still a little sore, but she's fine. And so we flash to Claire and Alan. So they're out having a drink, and she's talking about one of the most embarrassing stories in her situation that happened to her, where this guy she was dating, they were on their way back from vacation, and he decided to go over the loudspeaker and make some I guess profess his love and all that kind of stuff for her on the plane, and she's like, oh hell. And then he walks out from behind the curtain with the box in his hand, and she just looked like she's going to die. And he gets down on one knee, and she whispered to him, and I'm like, oh man, can't you see? What is it about, man? You can't read body language? Like, you can see that she is just not, like, I don't want this shit. Shut up, get up, sit down, shut up, just leave me, like, let's enjoy the rest of the flight. But nope, he got down on one knee, and she was like, please don't do this. And he went on and asked her, and you didn't see him ask her, but But they flashed back to them at the table. She was like, and he cried the rest of the flight. So then they flashed him crying, and she turned his ass down. And so they both toasted to like screwed up relationships, just like fucked up shit happening. So, okay, Alan and Claire. Okay. I think Alan's feelings are still hurt from the night before when she kind of laughed, was trying to make jokes. Okay, so Joy is like, okay, let me, get these, kind of spruce some things up and give me some lingerie. And, when he comes home, I'm going to turn it out for him, right? So he comes home. It looks like late because she was just sprawled across the bed like, okay. So he came into the room and she was like, come over and sit down. So he sat down and she revealed her lingerie. And for a minute, it looked like, she got his juices flowing. And then, she started asking him, how was your day? And like she was trying to role play like, oh, was it naughty or were you naughty? And he was like, no. Like he was just so like, no, it wasn't me. Like she's all over him and he's just sitting there like, no. Like, they're just awkward. And so she's like, you know what? No more talking. So she pulled the shirt off and told him to stand up, and he did. And she's about to, do what she do, right? And then he blurts out, Claire walked in on Neil masturbating or jerking off or something. Now, who in the world want to hear that? You trying to... Hey, she's about to jerk him off, and you talking about some mess at the school. And so she backed away and looked at him. He's like, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry. She just was like, okay, I'm trying here. You said last night that you feel like I don't want to have sex with you, and I want you to go on record and showing that you're the one who's not interested in sex anymore. And he was like, you know what? This isn't sex. And so she kind of looked at him. You say, if I come home and you were in bed and you say, Alan, do you want to have sex? Then I could say, yes, honey. Like that's the whole point she's talking about. She was like, you're boring. He was like, oh, why am I boring? Because I don't want to do something utterly fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, all she was doing was role playing. Like what? And so so basically, they had a huge argument and she walked out. And I'm like, what? Okay, wow. Okay, Alan, at least she was trying. Like, what? I don't understand. You could have had a happy ending, but no, you want to be an asshole. Okay, so next day, Joy had seen a couple of clients. One guy was kind of weird. I was like, he was flirting with her a little bit, but it was kind of just playful. And then he started talking about a dream he had that he walked into his apartment, and then he was attacked by this woman. And she was like, "What? Did you get to look at her face?" He's like, "No, because I guess just she was about to turn around. He woke up." And he was like, "But I never dream." And so he's trying to help him figure out what the dream means and the whole thing. And then you see their daughter comes home. She was on a trip with her girlfriend. And she was just telling her mom how her and the girlfriend broke up, and mother-daughter stuff. They were talking, and she was like, "Mom, don't look at me like I'm one of your patients," or something she said. And so she was like, "What?" She said, and then she made this facial expression. They both just kind of fell out laughing. And she was like, the mother thing, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened." And one of their well into the night, I don't know how often she sees clients, but it's dark out now. And one of the neighbors came over, and she came over with a tray of cannolis. And so the daughter opened the door and said that, she said hi, and she asked her, and the lady asked her how her trip was and the whole thing. And she said that, well, Mom's seeing a client, but you can come in and wait for her. Okay, so we flash to Alan. So Claire is having some issues with her car, and so I guess he pulled up to give her a jump, and it's not working. They end up at her place. She decides that she was like, okay, I don't know if I should tell you this, but I'm about to smoke a joint, so if you have a problem with it, let me know. And then she puts on Warren G. Now I'm like, Warren G. Now I know that a lot of people listen to hip hop, but I think Claire looks to be mixed race. I don't know, but and I already told you how Alan was when Joy wanted to role play, and he was the whole thing. Well, if you were already in bed and you said, "Honey, would you like to make love?" and I would have said yes. Can you imagine somebody like that listening to Warren G? So she put Warren G on, but he was all into it. I don't know if it was the weed or what. And so you can kind of see where that was going to go. So they end up kissing. And so it cuts away. So you don't know if it went further than that. So Joy is now sitting at the table with the neighbor. And she started talking about her and her husband. They were she wanted to do something different with her husband. And guess who the hell her husband is? Neil the wanker. Okay, so she was like how much she loves Neil, and she's trying to, spruce things, kind of, get things, get their engines rubbing again, I guess, for each other. And so she decided they were going to sit and watch porn. They watched some pornography, and she was like, the woman in the movie, like, she couldn't take her eyes off her. So I guess now, oh girl, she's questioning her sexuality or something. I don't know. But, Joy, she just sat and listened to her, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's late at night, and for some reason, for a man that works at the school, his ass is strolling in. And yeah, he's trying to tip in. So okay, so Alan finally gets home. And they had very few words for each other, but they did apologize for the whole argument, that whole mess. So there's Marvin. Marvin is a guy in Joy's water aerobics class. And he walked up to her once before they introduced himself, and she was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll see you next week." And she went on with her day. So, but this time, she was at the bus stop because she usually cycles to the class and cycles home. But she had a flat or something, and it was pouring down raining, so he pulled up and offered her a ride. Okay, so they're driving along, not saying much of anything to each other, and he stops, I guess, at a red light. Next thing you know, she jumps on old boy, grabs him, and is about to eat this man whole, right? And then he flashed, to reality, and it was just all in her head, right? It was a fantasy. She didn't actually do anything to the man. So he pulled up, dropped her off at, well, I wouldn't say he dropped her off at home, but he went in, and she was talking about her office and what she does. And he was like, his ex-wife wanted him to go to therapy, but he never did. Never could work himself up to it for the reason I may have a hard time with that. And he said, but if I'd known it would have been as relaxed as this, maybe I would have reconsidered. And, she started talking about what a lot of people talk about, a lot of her patients deal with, about, lack of passion in their marriage. People have been together for a while, and, relationships change, and, they grow apart, or, things get stale, and, just that whole thing. And next thing you know, they don't jumped on each other, and they're kissing, just going at it. And then she was like, oh, wait. So the blinds are up. She goes to close the blinds, and they get to it again. And all I know is that, I don't know if he had sex with her, but he sure put his finger on it. And she had a little moment. And I know afterwards she's walking around, and she sprayed some spray. So I don't know. So once again, it looks like they did, but we don't really know how far it went. So, but she just like really so proud of herself. And I'm like, oh girl, in your own house where you sleep with your husband and your children, I guess. I hope you hear my phone. I often wonder how couples decide to have an open marriage. It's one thing to decide that going in, like, everybody's on the same page. But when you've been together for a while and you decide to do that, how does that come up? Hopefully not as awkward as this conversation that just happened. Okay, so they're laying in bed, wide awake, and the guilt just got to Alan. So he just blurts out, I had sex with Claire. It was raining, and she had car problems, and we smoked a joint, and we listened to Warren G, and we had sex. I mean, it was basically like, that's how he talked about it. Like, I went to the grocery store, I got some milk, a loaf of bread, some eggs, and yeah, that's basically how he said it. And then so she turned over and basically said that she had slept with the guy in her water aerobics class. Do you know that asshole had the nerve to get upset? This mofo was like, I don't believe you, and you know, some guy you just met, and you know, it's not so, it's different with Claire, like a typical man thing, just a total fucking hypocrite, right? So now she's like, excuse me, why can't we just both admit, you know, that, you know, we're both at fault? Okay, so he just went on a little tangent for a minute. I'm just looking at him like, Alan, the hell's wrong with you? Like, that was just too much, too much. Okay, so they talked things through, and she finally admitted that she didn't like having sex with him. And you know, she was like, why don't we stop? And so she was asking him, she wanted him to go into detail about what he did with Claire, but of course he wouldn't. And he's like, so what are you saying, that you want this to end? And she was like, no, I love you, and you know, I don't want our marriage to end. I love you. And he was like, I love you too. And she was like, well, yeah, but why don't we just stop having sex with each other? He was like, I don't understand what you mean. How do we just stop having sex with each other? Like, he's concerned, we're married, that's what married people do. Yeah, but if we're both saying that we don't enjoy it anymore, or it's boring, or it's mundane, then why don't we just stop? And then he was like, I still don't understand what you're saying. She was like, okay, would you like to have sex with Claire again? And he was like, it's like, he said, there's no right answer to that question. I'm not falling into that damn trap. Nope. I have nothing to say. He was like, so what about you? Would you like having, she was like, have sex with Claire, like just playing with him? She was like, no. He said, no. I mean, would you like to have sex with old boy again? Guy Marvin. And she said, yes. And then he admitted that he would like to have sex with Claire again. He's like, so why don't you? So why don't we? He was like, I don't understand. Basically, she's saying that they love each other. They care about each other. They don't want their marriage to end. But I think they've reached a crossroads in their marriage where it seems like everything else is going well, but the intimacy in their marriage is just not what it needs to be. And it seems like they're both getting, I guess, what they used to get from other people or other avenues. It's like, it was an interesting conversation. So I was sitting there like, I wonder if that's what happens in a marriage that eventually have the two couples agree to stay together, but allow each other to accept other offers. We'll say it that way. So it was very interesting, and that, in the end, they both agreed that, they're going to stay together. They ain't getting a divorce. That's what they're saying now. But they're going to do the whole open marriage thing, and they're going to see how it works. And I could just see this is going to be, the fact that he got that upset after telling her that you done screwed around on her. You had the nerve. I mean, he sat up in the bed and turned the light on and just had a whole little tantrum for a minute. So I don't know how this is gonna work. She seems to be more relaxed, and it didn't bother her when he told her that. Now I don't know if because she's a therapist and she's she's able to rationalize certain things, but I don't know, or if she was just like, okay, the door has opened for us to now be able to talk and have an honest conversation about the issues that are going on in our marriage. So very good episode, but I could just see there are going to be some trials and tribulations, and I am going to be here to watch every freaking minute of it. So okay, I'm going to end this here. It's 10 o'clock. I gotta go to bed because I gotta go to work tomorrow. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, in the next video.